Cole.
That was like a death bellow.
It was. That's what it felt like as I said that.
Goal.
It was cathartic in some ways. In other ways, it was not cathartic at all. Cole. Fast Peak last week. This is it. This is the final edition of Stage 2 episode. Who knows? Fast Peak last week. This is a podcast, Cole. We're live on twitch.tv. If you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, and you want to sit and chat and let out your death bellows with us, join us. Keep an eye on our Twitter at 100 Talk Pod because we tweet out when we're going to go live. This is our Valorant show, if you hadn't guessed by our talk about dying. And we usually do a League of Legends show too. So if you like League, watch us. We're usually live at the exact same time, Mondays at 8:30. You can hang out in our Discord. There's all kinds of options. Cole. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, sorry. One other thing. We're powered. The way we have enough energy to do this show in the speed at which we do it is because we're powered by Rip It Energy Fuel. Don't call it a drink, Cole. Drink is what you do with a peasant's beverage like water. This is fuel.
This is the greatest ad read for Ripon I think we've ever had.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Going off script does you well, buddy.
Yeah. Look, what do you mean? I had that all scripted out. I didn't know. I feel like I'm not in the right headspace to do this show because I mostly am sad. But we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to do it live. And I propose to you, unless there's anything you'd like to add to this preamble, that we jump right into the first peak of the week, Cole.
It's time to fast peak last week, Jordan.
All right. I'm pressing start on my timer. We're synced up.
Now.
Cole, it's time. Sorry, Cole. It's time now, Cole, for the fast peak number 1. And it's this. I'd like to turn to you in this time of disappointment that I'm feeling and ask, how do I do this? How do I proceed knowing that we won't be in Iceland? We won't be in Reykjavik. I've learned how to say it since the last time we potted. And thank you. How disappointed are you? How disappointed should we be as fans? Hit me with numbers. I don't know. The other similar feelings. What are you thinking on this one, Cole?
I mean, yeah, I think the disappointment stems from the fact that we are good enough to be at Iceland. And we're just not going to be there. Like, this is different than, say, like LCS trying to go to MSI. It's like, okay, clearly, we couldn't beat C9, and right, some other teams along the way, but especially C9. And that's a lot of what makes it hurt so bad is like knowing that we have the talent, knowing that we are good enough, knowing that we had such a great showing in the qualifier, whatever they choose to call that we won to get us even into this playoff. So strong performance in the last qualifier. People came out big behind 100T, by the way. If you took a survey for who the top teams were, who the favorites were to make it to Iceland, 100T was pretty much on everybody's lips. So that hurts too. And then on top of that, dude, we just played every map so close. It was just so heartbreaking to just get so close to that and not like actually carry through. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but to me, if we complete the comeback in that map 1 against Sentinels, I think we breeze into Iceland, to be honest. Momentum is real. Confidence is real. And so being so close to that, having the talent and just not getting all the way there, disappointment is real.
Yeah, it's almost like, I'm going to make an analogy here that doesn't quite hold, but you'll get the idea. It's kind of like we couldn't hit our free throws, right? Like we so often gave up these little mini runs. Like we barely ever won a pistol round. Back to that meme of us not winning pistol rounds. And almost always that transitioned into losing 2 or 3 or 4 in a row, oftentimes at the start. And like you said, momentum is real. So we had some of these moments where it looked like the comeback was on. I think that almost makes it more disappointing, right? Because there were so many moments where we say, if that goes a little bit differently, I think we're packing our bags, Cole. We're picking up our field guides. We're headed to Iceland, but we're not. Instead, we're headed to fast peak number 2, which is
well done.
Are we making any roster moves, Cole? That's what everyone is thinking about. And I look, I want to.
Oh, wait. I have a different number 2.
Oh, sorry. That's not my number 2. Do we deserve Iceland? I mean, that was a little preview to the remix, Cole, because I know that's what everyone's thinking. And you thought we were going to go there for our second take, but we're not. I want you to talk about and think with me about whether or not we actually deserve Iceland. And this is the thing. Look, most of the time, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Most of the time, it's other teams asking or proposing that they actually deserve to be where they aren't. This is one of the first times we can be the team to ask this question. Do we deserve to be somewhere that we haven't actually earned a seat at? In this case, an actual, literal, real world seat that you would sit in and play a game. It's happening in real LAN setting, which makes it even sadder. But I don't know what you think about this. I could go either way, but I want to know what you think. Do we deserve to be in Iceland?
I mean, the answer is no. We don't deserve to be in Iceland. You have to beat the tough teams down the stretch to get to Iceland. Only the top 2 get there. And guess what? There were, in my estimation, there were 3 teams going into this that I thought were like top contenders. It was us, it was Envy, it was Sentinels. And so somebody was not going to make it, even though all 3 had the talent to get there. As we know, only one of those 3 ended up get there. But you have to be able to knock out the tough competition to get there. So no, we did not deserve Iceland. Do we have the skill? Yes. But fortunately for us, there's one little thing about this. Don't know if you were watching a team called Vision Strikers. They did not make it to Iceland either. And goodness gracious, that's going to work in our favor, because who in their right minds is going to say that Iceland really was the best of the best international teams without Vision Strikers? And now we can kind of maybe, jump on that, piggyback that a little bit and say without 100T2.
Right. This is just the warm-up LAN, Cole, for the real show at the end of stage 3, act 2, scene 7, called Champions. That's what we're really going for, Cole. We're saving it all for then. I don't actually know what's going to happen between now and then. There's going to be another stage and some other qualifiers and challengers, but here's my thought on it. We got a rough draw on the seeding many times over, right? You could look at it and say, like, basically we got one of the hardest draws. But I think to your point, I agree. I tend to agree with you. If your excuse for not making it to where you want to be, no matter what sport you're talking about or what tournament, is we had a hard draw, then you're not the best team. And you kind of want to be the best team because you need to be at least one of the best 2 to actually go to Iceland. I see that I started my clock well after you. Let's go ahead and move on, Cole. Time for take number 3, or peak number 3, which is it's a little bit of a mini game, call it. This is going to be called Blame It on One Thing, where there are a million different things you could blame it on, but I want to know what one thing you are proposing that we should be blaming this on.
Do you want to go first since you got very short time in the last one?
I can go first, even though I think I took more time than I was afforded. So yeah, I'll go first. And this is the part of the show too, where we reveal that we're not expert level analysts. So we don't have the actual answer for you, but I have an idea. And I feel like it's this. I think it's that we have too limited a set of options. Okay, I said one thing, and I almost did a part A and part B. So let me rewind that. I think it's that we don't yet have this roster settled in terms of the role that Nitro should be playing. I'm going to just stop it there. I think that is our primary issue at this point in time. I think he is a much better player than we've seen him be. And I think in large part it's because we don't have as unique a role and job for him to do as we have for people like Hiko, like Steel, I think everybody else. And even Ethan is, the newer guy. He's got a less set role to play. He's played a lot of Sage, he's played some Omen. But he still really delivers at a high level. So for me, that's the piece that I'm really going to keep an eye on, assuming that this is the roster we come back for stage 3 with. We'll talk about that. But that's my big question mark. I feel like we're underutilizing Nitro, and I want to see more from him.
If I had to blame it on one thing, I think what I'm going to point to is actually like our preparation, because to me, it feels like we are not coming with a lot of, or maybe a lot is the wrong word, but not coming with as many set plays and strats and plans as we typically did. And on the defensive side, I felt like we were just very reactionary. Um, you know, maybe Hiko can come on the show to tell me why I'm wrong about that, but it does feel like we were just reacting and just relying on, oh, we can click heads better to fix things. And our execution, our set plays weren't as crisp. And so that's going to be kind of a thing with us because like you said, we've got Nitro trying to figure out what he's doing. We've got Ethan in a position on the team where he's relatively new. So I'm not hypercritical because I don't think it was this glaring huge thing we did wrong. I just think it wasn't as crisp as perhaps we'd be known for.
Yep, we weren't doing the big brain galaxy brain plays. Redundant on that, but you know what I mean. All right, cool. Time for the last peek, and it's this. Looking forward, stage 3 is up next. This is the last chapter before Champions. What are your expectations?
I expect it to be way tougher from this point out for us, and not because I don't think we're good all of a sudden, because I do think we're great. But look at all the new competition that's emerging and establishing themselves as like, you know, they belong here and they can play. I mean, this was an interesting group of teams to begin with to be the, you know, the top 8 of NA. But I mean, we're seeing Nbox to me looked pretty good. V1 obviously got all the way there when a lot of people were doubting them. C9 looked incredible out of nowhere, right? Yeah. I think that there has been an evolution and the teams are on a different plane than they were before. And we have to match that and exceed it. So again, let me just say, I think we got the talent here, but I expect us to do intense preparation ahead of stage 3. And we'll talk about that more, but that's my expectation. Competition is going to be tough, and we are going to have to go through a higher level preparation to get ourselves ready to go.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just realized I haven't drank my Rip It, so let me get ready for this response to you, Cole. Is to say this. Vision Strikers, if you follow them on Twitter, they put out a good meme today, and it was a welcome to the missing out on Iceland party. Just took a good video and put a bunch of teams' logos over it. The list is long, to your point. It's most of the orgs that you expect to see. And if you're talking about an established esport, it's the orgs you would see at a global event, right? At the first international event. These are the orgs that are spending big bucks, the ones that have, you know, all the structure around their programs, and a lot of them just aren't there. So it's not just us. It's some consolation, I suppose. But really, I think what this tells me is, I think you're spot on. Other teams, the teams that you don't expect to be getting a lot better, are getting a lot better. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but I would say that it's probably a GM's worst nightmare, because a lot of the things like traditional scouting, your conceptions of who the best players are, they have been put into the bingo spin ball, and different names are popping out, Cole. And a lot of those names are not the ones who the big teams are paying top salaries for. So it's going to be very interesting. Stage 3 into Champions. So concludes our fast peaks, Cole. The last fast peaks of stage 2. So we didn't talk about, are you making any roster moves? But it's because we've dedicated tonight a whole section to this idea. Tonight we have debuting for the first time Fantasy GM. Cole, roll the tape. You got the show reel for Fantasy? You don't have it? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I'm creating it as we speak.
That's so Fantasy GM. Here's how it's going to work. If anybody is new to 100 Talk, you will have missed that Cole, to the week, predicted a roster move in the League of Legends program. To the week. It's on tape. It's recorded. So I won't say that this is going to be a repeat of that, but clearly Cole has established his credentials here as either a prophet and or somebody with GM credentials. So I'd like for you over the next 10 minutes or so to answer some questions. Cole, I'm going to play the role. It's I'd say equally or more important role here of angry fan, and you will be our GM. And we're not going to like role play this, but I'm going to be.
I kind of want to now.
it's gonna be hard to keep it a family stream, Cole, if I break out the true angry fan profile here. But I want to start with a couple questions for you. And I was thinking about, like, it's going to expand a little bit on the idea of what do we do moving forward? What are your plans, more plans and expectations for stage 3? But I want to start with this question. Our program now has been in place for some time, and I want to know what your overall level of satisfaction is with the results from the program. We've got a first strike title and trophy, and we almost qualified for Iceland. So help us think through, Cole, as fantasy GM. Are you satisfied? Are you not? Where are you at? Are you furious? Are you sending angry emails? What are you doing right now?
I'll role play this. You know what? We wanted to make a splash in the scene. We wanted to come out and own it right away. And we took a big risk in the beginning, with a brand new roster. And it didn't go well. But we have high expectations for our esports side of business. So as a result, we made some bold changes. And we spent money to make those changes happen as well. And you know what? We had great results with that. Those changes proved to be the right decision. We ended up winning the first strike tournament, which was a big deal for the team, big deal for the program, and just proving to the scene that we mean business. We're here to stay. Now we're faced with a situation where we made a roster adjustment. We took a risk on a young guy who's moving over to Valorant from CS:GO, and I think he's taking great strides in the right direction. And Ethan, I think he's looking like he fits right in with the team. And now we have to face the hard truth. We're satisfied up to this point, except for the fact that we did not make Iceland. And Iceland was the expectation. So we have to take a good hard look at ourselves, evaluate, what went wrong along the way, and take some serious steps to correct that. Make sure it doesn't happen so that we can surge in stage 3 and make it all the way to whatever we're calling the grand finals.
to the end of this thing, whatever that is. Wow, Cole. Clip that and put it next to your resume, and I think you're ready for the big leagues. Okay. So you're not satisfied?
No, we're not. We've done a good job up until this point. This is the first time when we really felt like we missed the goal.
Okay. With that in mind, I mean, stage 3 is it. If you don't make it now, you get to sit out and have a long vacation, probably maybe hit the unemployment line for you specifically, but the program overall takes a hiatus. Are you making any roster moves, Cole? That's the question that everybody thought we'd talk about. Here it is, number 2. Well,
first, stage 3 isn't the last chance, of course. So we do have the last chance qualifier to help us with that. But if you knew anything about Valorant, you'd know that. So when you're asking me tough questions, better be. Yeah, you're a fan.
It's not my job.
I'm a fan. I don't know how this works. That's how it works for me. Hey, wait. So what was the question?
Are you making any roster moves, Cole? Look, listen. I need a fall guy. I need somebody to pay the price here for not. I wanted to be in Iceland. I had bought my ticket.
One of the tough parts about being a GM is that ultimately, to use the 100 Thieves ops phrase, at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I have to make those tough calls. I have to make unpopular decisions. I have to do things that people aren't necessarily prepared for sometimes, and that they may not necessarily agree with based on the information I have, from our team, from our scouts, from our staff. And because we feel that this is a winning squad, and we do think that we have a shot to go all the way in international, those bold calls must be made. So I'm here to announce the bold decision that we're going to make. No roster moves.
Oh, okay. There it is. You got him with the C9, Cole, on that one. That was a good play. And then a week and a half later, you can reveal your entire new team. So good play. That was good. Okay. So no roster moves. No roster. You believe in the squad. Disappointed in the results. Not satisfied yet, but you're keeping the squad how it is. Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
If you want to expand, please. No,
go
ahead.
I was just going to say, look at where we are. I mean, Ethan is clearly very good. Ethan, in my opinion, is clearly working out. Now, we may not have crystallized into the best version of 100T with Ethan on the team, but we did win a qualifier and looked great doing it. And we need to find some more consistency with the comps and with our set plays and stuff. But like, I feel great about the players that are on this team. Benching Dicey kind of came out of the blue for some of us.
Not for you.
I think that I can't look back on that decision and say it was the wrong decision. Like, I think all of our players are very good at, at a variety of things. And at any time, one of them is going to be popping off. Like, that's my favorite part about 100C Valorant through the course of, having our more finalized roster, right? Is that knowing that any one of these guys can step up. They can and do step up. And that is like so great to watch. Like, sometimes Asuna is going to be, a lot of the times Asuna is going to be top fragging, right? A lot of the times Hiko is going to be clutching out rounds that are unbelievable. A lot of the times Steel is going to be surprising you with like coming out with like unbelievable big brain plays. It's like that kind of thing that can happen with anybody, right? And all we need is just a little more practice, a little more time, get Ethan a little more comfortable. Like, I really like your point about Nitro. Figure out the Nitro role. I mean, Nitro's still a new dad. For you guys who haven't been there yet, like, it does shake your world a little bit. It does make you tired a little bit. You're not going to be at your peak necessarily during that time. I like the guys so much, man. I don't see a reason to do anything drastic here.
Probably his first trip away from home since the birth of his child. Also, big deal, big one. All right, Cole, you convinced me. I am not going to take to Twitter to call for your public sacking. But my last question for you is this: where is your red line? Because everybody needs to have one, and I need to know what it is so that when it's crossed, I can hold you accountable. Cole, where's the red line? When do we start shaking things up for you?
I'm not making any changes for the rest of the year. I'm not. If this is a hard one to answer.
I bring the hard-hitting questions.
I know, because you're such a good interviewer. No,
I'm a fan.
Look, I firmly believe in the talent level of our players, right? And so to me, it's like what change are you realistically going to make that's going to make this team better? Like, if you can pitch me someone that's an automatic slam dunk and doable, then I'll listen to you. But we have such strong talent that my finger is not really on the red button for a really long time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna, and to be clear, I'll be disappointed if we can't rally in some way, but we have a really difficult road to try and get to the Champions Tournament or whatever it's called, the finals, right? Like, we have to basically, like, I think when you look at it from a points standpoint, I think we have to not only win like the NA part of Masters, but do well in the international part of Masters to close that points gap, or just all the way win out in the last chance qualifier. Like, those are basically our two options. That is a steep ask, man.
Right.
I am not feeling super confident about that, to be honest. Like, and when I say that, it's not that I don't believe we can do it, because I honestly do. I do believe that we can do that stuff, but it's just like, it's going to be hard. And for me, we have to really bomb out of these last two stages. Like, we have to really look bad. We have to fail to qualify. We have to, in the last chance qualifier, we have to finish like 6th or something like that. It's like, to me, it's a long road to go before I'm willing to blow up anything that exists on this team. And I love this team. I feel confident in them.
Cole, you've convinced me. Let me just say this about Asuna really quick. So one of the things I do think is interesting is we have both talked about how there's a lot of talent kind of coming out of the woodwork here. People popping up in places no one was looking, teams taking off that people didn't expect. Titans are falling. So the talent landscape, I think, is becoming richer, which is great for a game that's still within the first, year of competitive play. You really want that. You want teams to be finding players who are unbelievably good, because what that tells you is there's a lot of interest, and it's not just from people who are great at other games seeing a quick payday and making the switch, right?
Yeah.
That's great. That's good for the ecosystem of the entire title. I still think that Asuna is absolutely one of the best players out there. He was our top rated player in every match, top ACS every match, every map, and every match. He ended up plus 15 against Envy. And that's the loss that we had, obviously. So plus 15 in a loss is pretty crazy. From a stats perspective, the Spike.gg has him as the MVP for both of our matches that we lost. He went even with Victor, who was just absolutely hard carrying Envy through these maps. He was on Phoenix. I think they were dueling Phoenixes for a lot of it. He went even with Victor. They killed each other about the same amount for map 2, which was our win. Except for map 2. So he only got outgunned by Victor in the map that we won. So
right.
Didn't matter. He went positive or even with 10s. There's one map where he was down 1 to 10s, and he, I think, went positive against Sick, who the casters were talking about as the best player in NA. So Asuna was outgunning him. Great sign.
Cripps pointing out top ACS in the whole event and second best KDA.
See, there you go. He was sorting by event. I was
top
sorting
ADR
by match.
even.
So yeah, this kid is absolutely cracked, and that is a great bet for the future there. So I feel very good about that. He'll continue to get better. He's going to continue to get better game sense, kind of better nerves, like all of the intangibles that you get from being a top level competitor for years and years, which he will be. So I feel really good about him, and I don't think for a second that we should do any changes there. You'd have to work really hard to convince me that there's going to be some up and coming duelist who we would be, wise to try to snatch up in favor of Asuna.
Yeah.
So just want to put that out there because I think that's worth mentioning. All right, Cole, good job. You've passed the application for Fantasy Jam. You are the new GM. I'm happy to report. Congratulations. Good luck to you. It's going to be a long,
Jacob.
hard stage. He's not the GM. He's VP.
Oh yeah,
bro. He's your
VM.
boss.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on.
Good point. Thank you.
Oh, and now you've just lost your job. So it was a good tenure you had. Cole, you know what it's time for.
That's right. It's time for the Molly. It didn't go.
Molly.
The Molly didn't go. What?
I did.
Molly.
There we go.
All right, good deal, Cole. We got some community takes here, and we're gonna run tonight a take from Cococanta. And here's the take. I'll read it to you. We need to keep up with the meta as much as possible. It could be like what Ten said, that we did not have enough time with the Astra meta to be able to keep up. But I think that's something that should be focused on because Riot is planning to release more agents. This is a super interesting take because I think it's true. I think it plays into a little bit of what we've said at different points tonight, which is I think there are times where our prep didn't feel like it was up to snuff. We didn't quite have some of the, we didn't play Astra. So that's very true. That's a prep thing. And so I think we were a little bit out strategized in some of these situations, these key moments. We have to be better at that. And it's going to be what you described as a long and hard road is going to become impossible if we aren't on the cutting edge of the meta. You have to be both, right? You got to have good hands and good meta and good strategy. So yeah, I think it's a good point that Cococanta brings up, which is we got to get on that.
Yeah, name a more iconic duo, 100T and being behind the meta. And I mean that across all esports.
Yeah.
No, I so there is some truth to that though, right? Like the Astra thing was kind of big for me, watching that, be like, we just don't do that. We play Viper, but we just don't play Astra, right? Surely we're gonna see that in the future. I would be absolutely dumbfounded if we don't see Astra more in the next stage. And who knows, with the pace of what Riot's doing, there may be more champions coming out there. We've got a new map to worry about. There's lots of new stuff coming from Riot's end, and we, this is absolutely right. Like, we need to keep a pulse on that. because we cannot fall behind. I mean, I didn't watch all the other teams super closely, right? But I did not really notice anybody not playing Astra, you know.
Yep.
We can't be that team, you know. And sometimes we have those inspired moments of brilliance, right? Hiko waking up and deciding to play Raze, winning first strike, you know, like that stuff can happen, and that's really cool, you know. But we need to be foundationally sound to be able to pull stuff like that off, you know. And part of that is keeping up with the meta, man. It's our job, and I do think we'll see a better version of 100 Thieves in the future. They will do a better job of that. So much of this is just circumstantial, you know, with the newness of the team and with Nitro's, you know, fatherhood, in my opinion. So I'm just not worried, but I think Cococanta is right.
Yeah. Yep. Time should be kind to us because our job now is just grind through the next 2 months, basically, until it's time to get back at it. And Cole, that's what we're going to do. You and I are just going to grind Valorant so that by the time stage 3 begins, you and I are both
silver.
Radiant.
Oh,
sorry. Silver. We're both silver, and that we can play with our friends because we're not too low rank. That's going to be great. Upsurge here at the very end of our show. The raid train continues. Choo choo. Here we go. That's going to do it for the show.
Thank you,
Upsurge. We love you. Thank you. But yes, so concludes Fast Peak last week, stage 2. Cole, we'll be back for more Fast Peaking last weekend.
In the, you know, after all of that time passes to where we're playing again.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a while.
Big rip.
It'll be a while.
Anyway, guys,
it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. We're sad about how things went with this tournament, but you know, like I said, I feel like we'll be back.
Hey, while Upsearch guys are here, this show is done. We'll be back on Thursday of this week, most likely, unless something comes up scheduling wise. Cole, you good for Thursday? I think I am. Rec League. That's the show we do. That's 5v5 League of Legends customs, what you know and love. And you can play in it if you want. So we'll put our Twitter in the old chat here. Just give a follow, a quick follow to 100 Talk Pod. And we'll tweet it out on Wednesday, the sign up link. You can sign up and maybe you'll play. We take people of all elos, ranks, doesn't matter. So if you want to play, we cast it. It's fun. Hang out. And yeah, we'll do that next. Who knows what's after that, Cole? Monday of next week. I don't know. We're off. Esports are done. So we'll have to find something else to talk about.
All right, guys. We love you. We miss you already.